YouTube vinyl community, people who like watching videos where I show off my randomly recently picked up stuff. Random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we're here today to talk about a video, not talk about a video, but a video to talk about things that I've picked up lately, recent finds, if you will. Lots of Beach Boys cassettes, some good records, and a book. So let's just jump in, shall we? The Beach Boys all-time greatest hits. I found this recently. It's still sealed. It's got the original sticker on the back. It's been ripped off, but still sealed from 1992. So I might open it up, but very good track listing. They really cover the all-time greatest hits here. I Get Around, Surfer Girl, Good Vibrations, Wouldn't It Be Nice, Fun, 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 California Girls, Help Me Rhonda, Barbara, Ann. So not a bad display there. Capital Special Markets really outdid themselves on that one. So very cool to have that. Up next is something I just made a video of for that you will see pretty soon. This is the Beach Boys 1962-67 Time Life release. Again, pretty solid track listing on this, and you'll see a whole video about it fairly soon. So there's that guy. This is Neil Diamond. This is a tape I've never seen before called 14 Favorite Love Songs. It's a good picture of Neil hanging out with his guitar there in the mid-90s. Interesting set list on here. This is put out by Columbia. And I never saw this before. I mean, when I was a kid, we pretty much bought everything Neil did at that time, and of course the stuff my parents grew up with. But a couple of songs I never heard before on here, like "Rainy Day Song," "I Feel You." Yeah, so it's cool to have some new tracks on there. But the tape sounded good, standard Dolby-ish tape on there. So yeah, very cool. Have some more Neil in my life there, and this one is sweet. Bowie, the singles. 62 or 60, yeah, 62, 69 to 93, 2-tape set. Very cool to have this thing on cassette. I've seen it on CD a lot of times, but the tape was there, and I just couldn't say no. So there will be pictures of this guy soon on my Instagram channel. Instagram is just Giggens _ if you want to find me on there. There'll be way more pictures of this thing and a lot of this other stuff on there as well, so you can get better pictures of it. But very cool track listing with this guy. So this one and the Beach Boys rock and roll era, I found both of these at a store in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina recently, and the store is called Kilgore Trouts. It was a cool little record shop there, and they had some good stuff, and picked up these guys for fairly cheap. So if you're looking for a lot of cassette tapes, they got a lot of cassette tapes there. This is where most of the Beach Boys stuff comes in. Holy moly, look at all these that I have discovered. So this was cool, an original copy of the Do It Again album from 1984, my release that I had when I was a kid. It's from the early 90s or late 80s. This is on the black box and the white cassette shell, inside, so that was cool. The Surf's Up album, a different kind of Surf's Up album. I've talked about this on the channel before. Again, the original early 80s issue. Both this one and Do It Again have this kind of lined spine like that, which is kind of cool. Merry Christmas from the Beach Boys. I don't have this exact version. I've got multiple versions of this album already, but this one is in incredibly nice shape, probably because it only gets played, 3 times a year. But very nice condition. White cassette. Who knows if this is the original shell or the original case or not, but looks really good. This was cool. Beach Boys Party. I've never seen this on cassette before, so that was an awesome find. It doesn't really work that well. I've changed the sponge out on it, or the rolling pad, whatever you want to call it. Not much change there. The cool thing about this one is that extra picture they put on the top there at the beach, which is kind of neat. But yeah, I mean, it's an XDR Dolby tape. It's supposed to sound incredible, but early 80s release with the black spine with the barcode on it. Pet Sounds and a bunch of their other albums released like this as well around that same time. So cool to have that. Followed up with a abridged version of Little Deuce Coupe, which sounds really good. This is a really nice tape. But yeah, definitely a couple songs not on here, like Car Crazy Cuties not on here, and something else. Can't remember what it was, but same deal. Black spine. This is a barcode on the side. White cassette tape on the inside. See if I can open this thing up. Oh, there we go. Yep. White cassette tape. Nothing crazy to write home about there. Beach Boys rarities on the black front. I've seen one with white on the front, which I think is a Capitol Records Club exclusive. So to have it under... No, wait, this is the RCA version. This is the RCA Record Club. I think the white cover might be the official one. This is the RCA Record Club exclusive, so sounds really good. I just made a video about this album recently, so to find it on cassette was pretty good timing. But yeah, very cool to have that one on tape too. The next few I'm going to be making videos for throughout the month of November. And this one I'm not sure if I will or not, but this is 61 to 63, the greatest hits. It's all the early demo stuff they did, the Hype Morgan stuff. So the early version of Surfer Girl and Barbie, Luau, the original, and then those schmaltzy covers of Little Deuce Coupe and 409, which aren't really them, I don't think. You know, and What Is a Young Girl Made Of and all that kind of stuff. So interesting to have this one. This tape in particular caught me off guard because it's blue. Look at that. I don't think it's from here. It says made in Holland and then Great Britain, so it might be a British tape. But look at that. It's blue. Very, very cool to see that. Never seen a blue one before. This one's just called The Beach Boys. So this was a really cool find. Very interesting track listing on this one too. I might make a video for this one, but I mean, it's got a couple of random ones on here like Wild Honey and Summer Means New Love. So very interesting track listing on this as well. Same deal, just the standard white cassette. You know, like I said in a bunch of these videos you're going to see soon, Capitol in the 80s had a field day making these things. Beach Boys for All Seasons. A review is coming up for this guy as well. Twin pack, you know, it's double record set, but on cassette it's just one tape. So very cool to find that one. And then Summer Dreams, which I'm also going to make a review about soon too. So you'll see that very, very shortly. From there, we got some records. Let me show these guys. Oof. This is the Beach Boys 25th anniversary cassette tape box set. There's a video coming out for this soon too, so you'll get way more information about that soon. But take a look at that shiny foil cover. Very cool. Beach Boys for All Seasons. Like I said, a review is coming up. You got that on vinyl there. 2-record set. This is the Target exclusive Sounds of Summer Beach Boys Greatest Hits, which was very cool. So it's on an orange record. Yeah, the vinyl is orange. So let me pull that out and show you what it looks like. So the inside, kind of boring inside. I was hoping like a picture would be in there, but there is an insert, which is kind of nice. But the vinyl itself is gorgeous. I mean, they did a top-notch job with this one. Yeah, take a look at this. Just really, really cool orange marbly swirl. Looks awesome. I think I paid like 25 bucks for it, so it's a bit pricey for what I really want to pay for records, but you know, I'm a Beach Boys fan, and they'll take my money every single time. So it kind of looks like the Beach Boys Orchestra album, which I can't remember the name of it now for some reason. What the hell was that called? The Philharmonic one. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. It kind of looks like that. That came out a year or two ago. So that was cool to have on vinyl. I never thought I'd have this on record. So it's an awesome set. I mean, it really is a great collection of their songs. It covers everything you'd really want to hear. This is quite amazing. This is Carl and the Passions, Pet Sounds, in the shrink. So it's open, but it's in the bloody shrink. I've never seen one in this condition before. Every time I come across this album, it's destroyed. It's well loved. But the sides are open so you can get the records out, but it's not. It's a gatefold. Is it a gatefold? Yeah, it's a gatefold, but you can't open it because it's sealed. But so it's got some store named Gary's on there. But unbelievable to find this in this kind of condition. The records look absolutely spotless. So I could not pass this thing up. That was definitely a game changer for me because my copy is pretty well loved, and every time I've come across it since then, I've never seen it in good shape. So to find this in good shape was incredible. Mind you, all of these things I'm showing you here have been amassed over the last, like, I don't know, 6 months. This is not an unusual thing for me. A usual thing for me. This is quite unusual. So everything's been spanned out probably since, I don't know, May or something of 2019. As I'm making this video, it's October 19. The next two I'd like to show off as being quite special as well. These are The Who Magic Bus and The Who Sell Out. The thing about them is they're from the 60s and they're sealed. They've never been opened. And that kind of blew my mind. So here you go as proof. I cannot open this. It's completely sealed. Sealed. Cutout bin. So they were a promo. But they are completely sealed. From the 60s, never opened. Look at that. Can you see? You might be able to see that. But this one and The Who Sell Out are sealed. And so I was at a record store, and I was flipping through the records, and I happened to see these guys, and they both had stickers on them that said sealed, and I was like, that can't be right. Like, and they were fairly cheap. They were only like 20 bucks each. which is pretty cheap for sealed stuff from the 60s, regardless of what it is. And so I pulled them out, and I looked at them, and I was like, okay, this is weird. I don't know why these are still sealed. What's the story here? And so I brought them up to the clerk who was working there, and she told me this great story about how, well, it starts off sad with this guy had passed away, and his entire record collection, I guess, had been splintered off and sold. But this guy apparently worked for the Bee Gees in the 60s, and was like one of their bodyguards. I guess he would like kind of like fend off the girls as they came running after him, Beatles style, Hard Day's Night style. And as like presents or just tips, they'd give him like records. So these are all they're both clipped on the top, but they're both sealed from the 60s. So I'm very curious if I want to be the first person to open them to hear like a brand new 1967 album for the first time. I've done that once before with a Charlie Chaplin album that I found. And it was a trip to be able to be like the first person to open something from a time capsule from the 60s. It was really cool. So I might do that. I might also just keep them sealed and leave them sealed forever. I had these albums multiple times over. I know the songs inside and out, but that was damn cool to find that. And my last find here is something quite special to me. So this is Brian's Wouldn't It Be Nice, his autobiography from the early 90s, which who knows how much of it he really wrote. A lot of it was during the Landy era. But this book for me, so as you guys know, when I was a kid, I grew up loving the Beach Boys and the Beatles and you name it, all the 60s stuff, the Motown releases, and so I knew all the Beach Boys that I knew at that time, which was several different greatest hits and a couple of albums. And then when I was in high school, I was about 16, my mom came back from work, and she works at a library, and she brought this back for me, because it got checked in, and she was like, you know what, I thought you might want to read this, and I remember I was looking through it, and I remember flipping through some of the pictures here, and I remember seeing these pictures of Brian being, like really, really big. Let me see if those pictures are on here. Bear with me for a second here, guys. Yeah, I remember flipping through and seeing these pictures of Brian looking totally different, and being like really intrigued and being like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I wonder what happened. And going through more pictures and seeing him go through therapy with Landy, and I'll be like, okay, that's interesting. And then he got skinny again, and then I remember just like starting from page one night after school and being like, huh, fired from the Beach Boys. That's interesting. And that was it. That is what started me going headfirst down the rabbit hole of the Beach Boys trail. I was about 16, 17 years old at that time. I went out and bought Smiley Smile and Wild Honey on the double CD there. And that was it. That completely sent me down to the rest of everything else they've ever done. It's been a dream I've been chasing ever since. But I have this book to thank for, and my mom to thank for bringing me this book. And so it just recently got withdrawn from the library because it hasn't been checked out in a long time. So it got withdrawn, and she was like, do you want it? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, this book really means a lot to me, and a lot of it apparently is ghostwritten or rubbish, but the overall idea of this book means a lot to my Beach Boys collecting, my fandom, and just loving this group. So that was very special for me to have this. So this is something I'll always keep forever. I do have a copy of this book already, but having this one, this exact one that came out, from the library from when I was, in high school, very, very special. So that's it. I know I'm forgetting a handful of other things that I've picked up over the last 6 months or so. There's definitely a lot more books. There's a couple more records I know I forgot, and I got a Box Tops Greatest Hits recently too. But that seems to be about it as far as I can think of. So thanks so much for watching. This has been a long update video, and let me know what you guys have picked up lately. Curious to hear your thoughts about what you've seen and picked up or listened to or read. And that's it. My name is Giggens. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next update video and, of course, my album reviews. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.